So it's time for another gardening week, and as planned I took this frame down and then removed the tops just with scissors off all of these carrots. I'm pretty pleased with the way they're looking. All look pretty good. Well, not all of them, but most of them look pretty good. And I think I've got one row of carrots a week now between the end of December, because I've got some more carrots down there, and sort of the end of April time, by which time I should have new fresh carrots. As anticipated, there was a lot of slugs and snails in this bed, and I collected up most of them that I could see and got rid of those. I put some slug pellets down like yesterday afternoon, and there's probably another sort of 20 odd slugs that have been got by those pellets. So I'm going to clear all those out, put a few more slug pellets down, put the cold frame tops on, and plant spinach and lettuce into here. I am taking a little bit of a risk, because obviously there will still be quite a few slugs and snails around in here, but I really want to get them planted. They're ready for planting, and there's not much time now, so really there's only, what's the date now, sort of 20th or something. Only about 4 weeks for those lettuce and spinach to get themselves established before light levels drop to such a point that really they're just going to sit there and do nothing. And you really want them really well established before you get into winter, ideally, and then they're just primed for sort of explosive growth come the end of February. So let me get collecting up all these slugs and snails. So I think I probably took about 50 mainly slugs out of there, and probably 100 out yesterday. And so that is one of my strategies, really, because if I'd have left this bed just as carrots without taking the tops off like this, I would have had 150 slugs and snails, and probably a lot more by the time we got to spring. It kind of infesting this bed and spreading out into the other beds. So I tried to keep all the beds kind of clean and under cultivation, and so far as I can manage it, I'm always harvesting, because every time I harvest it's a time to have a good look to see if I can see any slugs and snails and get rid of them as I go. And the result is that hopefully by the time we get to spring, I'll put a nematode application down, but the levels will be fairly manageable, and also over winter they'll all be small, and I'll got rid of all the big ones, and the small ones kind of tend to pretty much hibernate in the middle of winter as well, and they often hibernate in the leaves of the plants, and because I'm harvesting them I'm taking those leaves off, so I'm taking the slugs and snails home with me, and get rid of them in the green bin back at home. So I'm giving these plants a reasonable amount of space, because they're going to be harvested in spring, and so they need as much space as you can give them, really. And ideally I'd plant something else interplanted into these beds, because once the carrots come out there's quite a bit of space here, so it's kind of perfect for a few radishes or turnips or something like that. And I've given these a little bit of a feed, still finding slugs. So I gave them a little bit of hoof and horn, just a nice slow release nitrogen feed, which is what lettuce and spinach really need. and just a little tiny sprinkle of blood meal just to get them going. I don't want them to put on too much growth, just a little bit just to get them established, literally, maybe 100 grams, probably less than 100 grams across the whole of this bed. So and I sort of worked it in with the trowel, and so hopefully they'll get off well, which is not guaranteed at this time of year, but you're not really losing much. I mean, even if I lost this whole crop to slugs and snails, I could start again planting in February, and I would only be a month or so behind. So I don't tend to worry about it very much. It's just nice to have things growing in the ground, and to feel like you're cultivating rather than just letting things go wild. So these are the lettuces that I'm planting, and actually these are just over a month old, so slow growth at this time of year, but looking all okay. There's a mix here of Navara, Canasta, Riccia and Flashy Butter Oak, and all cheap seeds, because again I'm not going to be sort of putting Salanova lettuces in at this time of year when there's quite a lot of a risk that I'll lose them. And then these are the spinach. So these are Rubino, the kind of ready stem type. I've got some responder as well, but I might have enough space for those. And I made a bit of a mistake with these spinach. These spinach were only sown 4th of November, so they're only a couple of weeks old. Anyway, so they're a bit too small to be planted out and a little bit tricky to get out of the modules intact. But I did this actually with my last batch of spinach and put those out when they were, notionally too young. And I'll show you those now. They've done just fine, so fingers crossed these will be okay. And I've got a few spares here, quite a few actually, spares, so hopefully I will be okay if I lose a few. So these are the spinach that I put in again too early, and these are now 6 weeks old and looking pretty good. I haven't lost a single one of them. It's just been such good growing weather really for spinach. Really mild and moderately sunny. They don't really mind the high winds because they've been protected underneath the coal frame. No real slug damage on any of them, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. And then I just need to get these coal frame tops on, and this is actually why I decided to do it today, because it's just lovely and still, and there's not many days like this in late November and December. I don't like carrying coal frame tops around on my own in windy weather. I value my shoulders too much. All it takes is one gust of wind and you've hurt yourself pretty badly. And I just put a few eye savers on the tree branches just so I can lean them back on the branches for support. It's not a great solution. I'll improve on that later. Well, it's an absolutely stunning day today. Pretty cold, it's like -2. Well, so I think it's just below 0 now. It was -2 when I got here this morning. I'm just swapping stuff around, so I've taken this net frame off and popping it over the strawberries just to store it, and because I need to put that load on top over here, because these few sort of scrappy salad onions will come out today, and then I can get this bed prepped and ready to get it replanted probably in January. And you know, who knows how many nice days like this we'll have between now and January when there's no wind at all, which is perfect for carrying all this stuff around. And over that bed, because that bed's got my spinach in it for spring, I'll just put one of these cold frame tops. So yeah, I should get on with this. So I'm just clearing this bed of salad onions now. I'm a bit disappointed with these, you know, that the quality's not quite as good as I'm used to. And I need every salad onion I can get, really, because I don't have enough space to plant salad onions to get me through until May. So I kind of have to get some more planted, well, more sown in December, really, and get those planted out as soon as possible next year. I've only got one big bed of salad onions left, which, as I say, is a bit frustrating. So I managed to find some buckets of compost that aren't frozen, and yeah, I just put a handful of bloodfish and bone and a handful of hoof and horn, and then covered it over with this homemade compost. And yeah, that should be everything that's needed. On my sandy soil, I do need to provide additional nutrients. I can't just get away with compost, and I don't want to take the risk either, you know, because if you're just using compost, you don't really know the nutrient profile of it. And yeah, there's a few reports out there of people getting nutritional deficiencies when they're self-sufficient, basically eating all their own food off a small little patch of land. If that land's not rich in a wide range of nutrients, you can get the odd deficiency. So, you know, I don't take that risk. Let's pop this off. I don't know, these covers seem to get heavier every year. I wonder why that is. So I think I'll probably put Brussels sprouts in one of these. And as everybody knows who watches my channel regularly, I do Brussels sprouts for a summer harvest, unlike everybody else. I do them for a winter and spring harvest as well, but I really like them in summer. I always laugh when people say, you know, how they wait until the Brussels sprouts have had a frost on them because they're sweeter. They're just so good in summer. Yeah, I just get this spinach underneath this cold frame. Spinach is great in cold frames. It doesn't really need the heat of a low tunnel, and yeah, so it's just great for these lower cost frames, and it makes such a difference having them under cover, you know, and it means you can harvest them basically, you know, all the way through the year. It just doubles the growth rate, really, by comparison with fleece. Yeah, they're going to be really happy under there. Yeah, I just threw a few slug pellets in here, so that'll clear the slugs out. I'll close this up, warm the soil up, and then get planting when I see a nice weather window opening up. And then this bed's all ready for my second early strawberries, so I'll just, you know, when it's sort of late February time, early March maybe, I'll just lay a layer of fleece over here, hold it down with this top, and yeah, it should give me strawberries a few weeks early. Okay, so I'm just back from the allotment, just finished the harvest. Not quite filled the table this week, just a little bit there at the end. I've just got to be careful now to make sure I don't overpick stuff. I don't want to run out. So inevitably that means that when we come to spring, we've got way too much. It's a difficult thing to manage, really. It's like the onions, you know, how many onions do you give away? Because right now we've got loads of onions, but then if we get losses over winter to mould or whatever, then we don't want to go short in spring. So we just have to be a little bit cautious. Anyway, here we go. Onions, shallots and leeks and garlic from the store. Potatoes from the store, you can see they're not looking great now, you know, a little bit dry and whatever. Whereas these are the potatoes straight from the tubs. I've just started, this is the first pick from the tubs. We've got 22 tubs to go at. That's enough to get us through until the end of April. So kale, Brussels sprout leaves and collect tops. Little bits of purple sprout and broccoli, leeks, yacon. In fact, I've harvested all the yacon today because we've got some fairly significant frosts over the next few days. So we'll get that cleaned up. Last year we didn't clean it up. We left it with the mud on and we got a lot of problems with mould. So I think this year we'll clean it up, we'll dry it off, and then hopefully we won't get so much of a mould issue. We ended up throwing maybe 20% of them away last year, which was a real shame. And yeah, I've also potted up all of the tubers for next year, so that's all done. So now I've got all the spinach, it's looking quite nice. Yacon and turnips, colettes and Brussels sprouts. I haven't picked any red beetroot, but we've got red beetroot and golden beetroot both in the store and in the ground. Squash, crown prince, carrots from the autumn bed. Maybe only got 1 or 2 picks from the autumn bed now. Starting to run a bit low on that, and then we'll be on to the winter bed. Yeah, absolutely stunning this, isn't it? So this is purple stem pak choy. Salad rocket, starting to go to seed. Salad onions, so these are the scrappy ones from the bed that I was harvesting today. And that's it. So now we've got just one big bed that's ready for harvest, and then we'll have to wait for the rest of it to come ready sometime in sort of February, March time. Claytonia, radicchio. So I picked all the radicchio because it's all starting to get a bit manky now. So I'll put the rest of it in the fridge. So that's just the stuff we're going to use today. And really nice selection there of komatsuma and tatsoi. And then all the lettuce bases. So these lettuces are all the dregs, basically, the bits that are left over in the autumn bed. So I'm clearing the autumn bed next week and probably replanting it the week after. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. But yeah, so I'll just make up those salads and I'll be done.